Hey guys!
Pulling up to Pure Flow Technologies Incorporated. Getting ready to get the AirDog system put on the truck. I'm excited.
All right.
Running through the through your pack car fuel filter housing first, so it's pulling through all that, and then kind of has a spaghetti mess of lines there that it runs through. So by pressurizing through that, it's gonna help eliminate any vapor you're gonna have in the fuel system. So be providing positive pressure to your gear pump,
Which is a good thing.
Yep.
Cool. Did you show them that water separator?
I will show it to him. Right there yonder, the water separator that is just taken out.
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
Well, we got the AirDog system installed in here, and now we just got to button up and kind of clean up the hoses there and put the filters on and get the power set up to it.
I'm sorry, I can't help but laugh. He said we.
Yeah.
You got a mouse in your pocket.
Look how clean those hands are. You didn't have to call me out. I was trying to make it look like I did everything. Lance ain't around to call me out, and you called me out instead.
Oh well, that's what I'm here for, right?
Guys, we got Jay with Pure Flow Technologies, Mr. AirDog himself. Why don't you tell us how the system's works now that they're setting it up? I was trying to tell them that we were doing this and we were doing that, and she threw me under the bus, said you wasn't doing nothing. Lance was doing it all.
Credit for installation there.
But Jay will at least tell us how it works.
In all fairness, I do the same. We all like to watch Lance work a little bit over there, but no, he's doing an awesome job. The cool thing is when Lance is done over there, it's going to look factory, like it was meant to be there, and which, of course we believe it is. So
yeah,
so
it's looking good so far.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, coming along well. So just to kind of explain the basics of the system, in stock form, your engine has a gear-driven transfer pump that is pulling fuel from the fuel tank, and now it's doing that under suction at all times. So it's pulling through, some length of fuel lines through various restrictions through the system. One of which is the factory-provided frame-mounted fuel water separator. So the AirDog mounts in place of that factory primary. We removed the primary, so what we did in your case, we used our new, kind of quick attach bracket to mount in place. We had to kind of finagle that a little bit for your system, or for your truck anyway. So we learned a little bit about the Kenworth frame today, so that's a good thing.
Well, it's a brand new truck.
It's a brand new truck, that's right. So that's why we like having brand new trucks in the shops. We learn some things,
Yeah, exactly.
But now the AirDog has the integrated lift pump, which is going to do the work now of pulling fuel from the fuel tank. So instead of your transfer pump pulling under suction, we're going to do that work. Excuse me. We're going to pull fuel from the tank. As you see here, this is just kind of a small mock setup here, but so your fuel tank, the AirDog lift pump is going to do the work pulling fuel from the tank. And very importantly, as you're running down the road over bumps, through the hills and whatnot, fuel sloshes in the tank, and it entrains small air bubbles in that fuel that if we don't get rid of that, it's going to work its way into your injection system. So a big part of what the AirDog is doing, we're pulling that entrained air in with fuel with our pump, runs through our water separator for large particulates and moisture. We move over to the pressure side with our 6 micron fuel filter. Now with pressure, we're using our AirDog pump to build pressure in the system here to force air out of the system using our patented air separation technology. Our return line here tees into your factory fuel return right there at the side of the head, so we're not running an extra fuel line back to the fuel tank or anything like that. We have just a trickle of fuel that we're returning just to carry the air and vapor that we separate from fuel. So that goes back to the fuel tank. So ultimately, on the outlet side of the AirDog, what goes on to your transfer pump and onto your injection system under the optimal net positive pressure is a clean supply of fuel with no entrained air or other impurities. So it's all about efficiency of the fuel burn at that moment of injection, making sure that you get the most complete burn of fuel, so we're maximizing, you know, the efficiency of your fuel.
Yeah. So with that vapor return on a stock setup, usually that vapor return is just vapor on a stock setup. Am I correct?
Well, in the stock setup, actually that vapor is going to go onto your injection system.
I'm just saying that.
Yeah.
I want you to zoom in here, and I want you guys to see what we got there. You see this trickle? Zoom in there good there. I know Jay, he don't like to make the claims of fuel, of getting better fuel mileage, but I'm telling you what, that little trickle there adds up to quite a bit when you start looking at the price of diesel. I'm going to say it for you, Jay.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, we've got some great evidence out there. You know, we're definitely saving some fuel.
I've talked to a few guys that have your system, and they speak highly of it, so I was excited to get down here and get this put on mine.
Yeah, exactly. It's all, like I said, it's all about efficiency of the fuel burn, just making sure you're getting the most complete possible burn of fuel. You know, we talk about, especially in older, you know, kind of pre-emissions era trucks, you see a lot of the black smoke going down the highway.
Rolling coal.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of that coal you're seeing come out of the stack is unspent fuel.
Yeah.
And the reason for that, it's got air going into the system, and it's that air is in place when there should be fuel at that moment of injection. Well, now we've delayed injection timing somewhat, so you're not getting the most complete burn of fuel. So unspent fuel goes out the tailpipe. But now on these newer emission systems trucks, you know, the big thing is we still get that condition happening, but it's not making it on its way out the tailpipe. It's building up in your emission system instead. So these new emissions, you know, full emissions trucks are awesome. They're very complicated emission systems, but if we can clean up and you know, that burn of fuel, making sure that we're sending less to the emission system, now we've got less buildup, less soot, etc. That's a big deal.
In layman's terms, that means going to the Peterbilt dealership, the Kenworth dealership, the Freightliner dealership, and you can't say those three words without it at least costing you $2,000 just to say the words.
Yeah, isn't that right? Yeah.
Like Jay was saying, with it taking all the oxygen out of the fuel, that, am I correct me if I'm wrong, Jay? That means a cleaner burn.
Absolutely.
Cleaner burn means less soot in your engine. Less soot in your engine means less soot on your sensors. And I don't know if any of you have had to buy sensors, but I'm here to tell you they ain't cheap.
That's right, exactly. Yeah, we're just going to make sure that there's basically less unspent fuel and contaminants going into your emission system. So your DPF, all your really post-turbo components are all going to run cleaner.
Awesome. Jay, I appreciate you showing me that. We're going to show them what it looks like when it's all set up. Anything else you want to tell me about it? Sounds like you covered most of it.
No, I mean, I'll tell you what, the main thing is we have engine-specific systems for most commercial heavy truck engines out there. So all your Cummins, your X15, all series there, performance, efficiency, and whatnot. Peterbilt's, we've got PACCAR engines and whatnot. Detroit's, we're working on a setup for the DD15. You're going to hear about really soon. We've had a lot of interest about that. So we're this close.
The
to being ready
DD15
with
is a
it.
good engine. The problem with DD15 is it's hard to find people to work on them unless it's Freightliner specific.
Yeah, and we hear that a lot.
And so with you coming out with a system for the DD15, that's a game changer for those Freightliner guys.
Yeah, and same thing with the PACCAR. Everybody talks about PACCAR and the issues that they've had here recently with the injectors and whatnot. This MX-13 engine, awesome engine, very fuel efficient, but they've got some injector problems. AirDog does a lot, to benefit that, so it help reduce some wear and tear on those injectors.
We were talking about money savings. I was just talking about sensors being high dollar. Injectors are high dollar.
Yeah, you know how expensive it is to put a six-pack in a Cummins.
Yeah, so. And you don't pull just one out, one goes bad. You just as well as do them all.
That's right. Yeah. So we're prolong the longevity of those injectors. Make sure that they you get the max mileage out of them.
Sounds like a money-saving deal to me.
Amen. You bet.
Guys, the AirDog.
Zoom in on that bad boy.
I'll tell you what, I'm pretty excited to go take it for a spin. Did you get it zoomed in?
I
Oh,
did.
no, zoom it in good.
Zoom it in good?
Yeah, because I like the dog.
Right there. And that's our dog.
And that's our dog hitting the brakes.
We're just putting his butt on the brakes. He said, hold up.
It's time to go to work. The AirDog system is in. It's time to go to work.
No, he's just laying on it. That's what he's doing.
Love you guys.
Bye, guys.